budget, you guys gotta let me know what you wanna do with that. Otherwise, I think I have everybody else's stuff pretty much in, there might be some tweaking yet, but, right now, and Jesse had a couple things we changed, so there's a couple numbers. Just looking at it, if I went with the numbers that Eric provided and we went with the budgets that we had with Eric's stuff, as of right now, we would be looking at, we're at about a 25, probably about a $30,000 increase from last year right now. If I put in the CLA stuff in, a little over $30,000 from last year's budget. Because right now, I had 25,000, but you have to add another 5,000 from last year. So last year we were at 990,000. Right now, I'd be over $1 million for this account. For general fund, for expenses. I didn't figure out our revenues yet, so because I looked at expenses. Revenues would figure out that's where our levy is coming. But right now, we're about 30,000 over expenses than we were last year. So that's kind of where we're at with that one. Capital equipment, which would be our 200 fund. The levy amount is what we have to determine. I've got things highlighted in here. So this is where our capital equipment comes in. So our expenditure restraint program, I have not got what our percentage is yet. That one we got last year. That's the amount that we get if we stay within a certain percentage of our increase. Last year we got the $23,165, and that's the amount we agree that we can put into capital equipment if we get it to help build up that fund. I don't know what that percentage is yet. But I did put in all the dollar amounts of things that we're going to try to put in for capital equipment. So you'll see I kind of labeled what the dollar amounts are, so you guys know what those are for the equipment. So I have in there capital outlay for the cop car, $37,315, the turnout gear for the fire department, the truck loan interest, tobacco money, the LED lights. With those things alone, just the capital equipment, we're looking at from last year about almost $60,000 increase from last year. So last year we were at 94.9, this year we're at 154.5. So it's 59,665 increase from last year.
I got a question.
Sure.
On the fire department turnout gear, why do we list it as an $8,000 expenditure when it's only $4,000?
Because they reimburse us.
So we spend it and then we get it back.
Correct. So
Gotcha.
that'll come in on the in the revenue side. So
Gotcha.
if you look at the revenue, like up on top, on the first page, it'll say Heartland equipment reimbursement. That reimbursement on page 1 of the equipment, there's 35,308. That amount is in there, so it comes back in there.
Okay.
That equipment fund comes back.
Okay.
Same with the fire truck.
Same with the fire truck. Yep.
Both of them.
Yep. So yeah, the one paying with the fire truck is principal, one is interest. So that's what we should do. So yeah, that one we're, like I said, we're up a little, but last year we didn't really levy a lot for that one. So capital projects, that's a 300 fund. So this one we got a lot of things going on yet. So with capital projects, we need the levy amount. Special assessments. So we're going to have special assessments depending on what people decide with National Street. If we have people that pay this year in one lump sum, we're going to have some money coming in this year yet for special assessments. So we're going to have some special assessments coming in for National Street probably this year yet. Plus we're going to have whatever people decide, if some pay in installments, we'll have some coming in next year. Once we find that out, it's going to be right before budget season. So those numbers are going to get plugged in right before the end, because depending how quick they show you those letters and tell you what they're doing, it'll be right at the end. But those numbers will be filled in once we know what everyone's doing.
I have a question. Just what is the police pay one time only? How much?
How much are they paying?
Everyone's definitely.
It's in that sheet. If you look at 4, page 4 in the back, it tells you how much everybody has to pay.
So it goes by linear foot.
It goes by the foot, but it tells you on page 4, there's an actual spreadsheet at the back, before the map.
Yeah, so like,
So like Cheviac owes
$6,400.
$6,400, Widener is 4,000. Kind of breaks it down by each person, there's, I think, 12 people.
Depending upon the footage.
Yeah, depends on how much footage, but it's on that page, how much it is. So then if you go down where it says proceeds of debt, I have highlighted there to be determined. This is where we're waiting on what we're gonna do with 117. So none of this has 117 figured yet to do yet. So we're probably gonna transfer some money into this, because we're gonna transfer ARPA money into here, we're gonna probably transfer some, well, not water money into here, but we're gonna transfer ARPA money in. We're going to probably take out a loan, so we're gonna have some proceeds of debt coming into here. I don't know what those are yet.
If we took out the loan, are we still thinking about doing the other street project and
I'm waiting to get,
trying to get?
I mean, I'm waiting for Eller's guy that we talked to, Brian Romer, sent him an email last week. He's at a conference. I should hear back from him tomorrow. So I asked him them very specific questions. Should we take out a loan to do just 117? Should we take out a loan to do, 117 and Adams Street maybe? Because that's the next on our list to do. Adams Street is going to be expensive, $1 million. Or do we just, what's the right answer? Where we sit? Because they're going to tell me, right? Because the water, there is money in the water fund to help pay for 117, because that's majority of the cost of 117. But there's not enough with the ARPA and the money we have on water, because we went through this at the Cal committee with the shortfall. So like 140 from ARPA, $200,000 from water with cash on hand from the water department. We're still, $300,000 short. So do we take out another big loan? Can we take out another big loan?
So by hoping October, we could have a little more answers, but so those numbers will come in at some point. On page 2, I have the ballpark lights in there at 30,000. I did add engineering costs in there too, that's the 2024 engineering costs of 10,000. And that's just for
For stuff that we do, so like
General.
just general things like whether it's, I don't know, drainage issues or engineering work that needs to be done for storm drains or random things we do, pacer ratings, if I need help with that again or something. We normally have $10,000 a year we spend in engineering that for me to call and to get, sort of like what we do with a lawyer or the IT service, we got that money ahead of time, so I'm not scrounging it or I can't call them to ask them, hey, why is the water flowing out of the manhole?
On a side note, with the light thing, have you received any feedback from any of the people that are using the field about possible?
I have not yet. I contacted the school. The $30,000 is our half. I contacted the school, asked them, hey, I've officially contacted them. I talked to Joe before, hey, we got lights coming up, but I officially sent a request to him and say, hey, we got lights that are $60,000 is the least expensive bid. Would the school be willing to help? I have not contacted the Broncos or the Legion yet, but that would be my next thing. Probably do that tomorrow.
So the ballpark lights are in there. So without 117 in there at all, and not knowing what that's how that's gonna shake out, from last year, our expenditures have actually decreased. The reason they've decreased is our loan principal has gone down, this year. So we've decreased in the project fund, $19,000. But it doesn't count for 1.6.
Right.
So it's kind of a whatever. So basically, I'm just kind of showing you guys where we're at. These numbers are gonna definitely change. But the things that I've highlighted are just so you kind of know where things are at. Is there any questions on these 3 lines? Do you have questions?
No.
And if you guys see things that need to change or are missing, please let me know. We can fill it. And I haven't looked at this real close, you know, next week, Monday or Monday. So I'll go through it. So I guess at this point, if we could just like consensus, move it to committee of the whole.
I'll make a motion to move it back consensus to the committee.
Second.
Motion by Kelly, second by Hoppenstein. To move item K10 to move it by consensus to committee of the whole. Any discussion? Favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Discussion of possible action on 2024 TID budget.
All right, so let's do it. All right, same thing, how it's did. So the levy limit is, that's a calculated amount by the state, but it's a worksheet that we do. So that number will come in at a later point. The only number I really need yet from the state is the computer revenue, which will be coming in shortly. There's not a lot of numbers that come in from the TID, or for the TID. The TID right now, the number from last year has come down a lot, partly because we're starting to get all of our stuff paid for. The last of the loans are getting paid off, but our TID closes next year. So I don't know if you guys paid attention to what John was saying a little bit in the financial, so we were like at 280 something, or 280.
18 or something.
Yeah.
$218,000 deficit, okay? We had loan payments that were coming out of that from quite a while ago. Plus, we owed the sewer and the water money from, when they put infrastructure in under Highway 29 and stuff like that from like 1996. So we pay back infrastructure money back to sewer and water. Water's been paid off for a few years. We are still paying back sewer. Next year's the last year to pay back sewer, and then next year's the last year we have to pay back the rest of the loans. So those loans have gone down substantially. We should have everything paid off and be done with the TID and not owe. When I started, we owed everybody like over $1 million, and we didn't think we were gonna be able to pay it off. We extended the life of the TID, 3 years, 3 years, so that we could hopefully pay off everything and not owe. If we didn't extend it, the village was going to have to pay back water and sewer, and we were thinking it was gonna be about $600,000. By extending it for 3 years, being able to keep that money and maybe pay it back, so the TID has come down, so you know, you can't really use that money. But maybe there'll be a little left, and Jesse B and I are looking at, if there's some things we can do with that money, if the state and jurisdictions will allow us to. They're waiting for the final audit so that we can have this in order review. And when we have that meeting, there's a lot of questions we have. If there's extra money in that, when that closes, what we can and cannot do with that money. And we're looking at some different things Jesse's looked at that we have to ask out. So we'll have to see how that all shakes out. So there's some questions
So we have to get approval to use it for that, whatever it is, and then there's,
from the state.
and if that doesn't, if they say no, would we be
Then it
able to
would
use
have
it
to- I
towards
think it goes-
117 or Adams project?
What happens is, see, okay, anything we did that we get, like all taxes we collect in the TID, the village. Okay, that's part of it, that's the nice thing about it. So when we collect taxes from CI or whoever's in the TID, the village gets to keep, we get to keep. Normal taxes I collect from you for your house, I have to give my portion to the school, I have to give my portion to FWTC, and I have to give my portion to the county. Now, not for the TID, I get to do all. Okay? So that's nice if you don't have a lot of debt off of it.
Mhm.
We've had a lot of debt off of it. So we've been paying back, which that is what it's kind of there for, but we've had an extreme amount. So we've been paying back. So we haven't had a lot of money. Where other jurisdictions have had this money, this pot of money, and then that's how they can use it as incentive to get big business and say, hey, we got $1 million here, come build with us. You know, kind of thing. So at the end of the TID, normally if there's money left, I think it goes back to all those jurisdictions. So that's it, you do your portion, you do your portion. But if you use it as an investment type thing, like an incentive to do stuff with, which there's a couple of programs Jesse's aware of, they may allow you to use it for the program if the other jurisdictions are in agreement. Which that's what the TIP joint board meeting does. We meet with an agency, the county, and the school. And that's what we meet with. So like when we extended the TIP, we had to get their approval to say, yes, we'll allow you to do it for 3 more years and keep all that money. They had to say, yes, we'll allow you to keep money for 3 more years.
And then once that expires, there's other decisions that we're gonna have to make as a board, you guys are gonna have to make as a board. Like she was saying, you can use that money, like the increment that we get in from that district right now, we could take that and let's say invest it into affordable housing. Don't be confused what affordable housing means. It just means 30% of income. We're not building a bunch of low income housing. So it's affordable housing. So, but you're going to have to look at, does the benefit outweigh it? So if we get that money from the increment and want to do it to affordable housing, then you can't create a TID for a year. So we got to look at it because once our TID expires, we need to create another one because that's a way for us to generate revenue, more revenue. So that might be something that we're looking at for the housing up on Sunrise Ford. Can we get that for affordable housing? How much is it? You know, if it's $30,000, then it's probably not worth keeping that increment and putting off the TID for another year. Just create a new TID and get the money from that and then go from there. So it's just not asking Ellers if it's a good idea for us to borrow money to do 117. It's an in-depth look at everything and the effects on how it all works out.
So yeah, the TID, that's kind of the TID right now, so like I said, that's kind of a work in progress too, so that'll get moved to.
I'll make a motion to by consensus to move to the next call meeting.
Second. Motion by Court, second by Page. So move discussion on the 2024 TID budget to the next call meeting. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Discussion and possible action on 2024 water and sewer utility budgets.
Oh, go ahead.
I just had one thing in there, basically, the water and sewer, I did mark in there, proceeds for debt, depending on what we do with 117, that number will need to come in. And I did add in the water tower,
Washing.
washing. And what should I use?
It's not.
Just marked it on yours.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's on outside services, that's where that money will fall. It's 610, 68, 20 on page 2, where it's $21,000. 9,500 will be put in there for that. The water, right now, we have an increase of $17,000 from last year, but we still need to figure out with the water, how much of that's going to be 117 project. And then for sewer,
Just to add something to the water budget, the numbers are a little skewed because this is the first. Jen wasn't here the entire year, so we had a gap in coverage. And then also with washing of the water tower, you look, I gave you an estimate of 9,500, but it only went up, just shy of $5,000 because we also did the inspection of the water tower last year, so that's why it doesn't equal out. I'm just pointing out a few things that are obvious in the budget that you might look at and say, well, why did we go down? Why are we going up 12% on wages? That seems like a lot, or whatever it is. Administrative salaries where we're going up 12%. That's not really an accurate picture because we weren't paying for everybody for the entire last year. And the same thing with washing the water tower. Why didn't it go up 9,500? Because we did some other things that we're not doing next year. So just the big ticket items, I guess I'll call it.
and then sewer, for that master PLC board, that will be coming out of the maintenance collection system pumping, which is on page 1, 620, $53,8320. That'll be it, that's 36,000, that's in there, that's what the next side's 30,84. So that one jumped up, and then, so for sewer and water, or for sewer, the increase would be about 42,000. So. most of that's.
Anything else sticks out to you guys that you,
And those two, like John said, sewer and water are different. That's more like a regular business. We don't have to worry about the levy limit. Taxpayers don't, this does nothing with taxes. Sewer and water are regulated by sewer and water that you pay your bills. You pay for it in your water bill. The rest of it is really. So this would just move to the next one until we get finals.
I'll make a motion to move to the, Cal.
Second.
Motion by Kelly, second by Court. To move the 2024 water and sewer utility budgets to our next call meeting, moved by consensus. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Closed session. Okay, let's go. What do we got to do here? Unfinished business. No.
Do you guys want to remove that until you have something?
I have somebody that might be, I'll be getting an answer probably tomorrow that might be interested in doing the fire.
Let me know.
Okay, well,
So-
then let's just move it to the next meeting then. or
Sure.
see? Okay.
I make a motion to move it to the next meeting.
I'll second that.
Motion by Kelly, second by Court. To move the appointments, the boards, commissions, committees to our next meeting by consensus. Is there any discussion? Favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Approval of payments. Shall Marachi.
Okay, so the payments are in there, Jesse, did you get us the last subscription?
we're not paying that yet. We're still
Okay,
waiting on him. We have the agreed final payment. We're waiting for him to finish his paperwork.
okay.
Is that for who?
Concho.
Oh, got you.
So there's one more payment, but it may not be in this one then.
No,
Okay, so we have one more payment to pay for Danton Street, so that'll probably come in the second day too then. So you guys will- but other than that, there's really nothing out of the ordinary this month.
I'll make a motion to approve the payments.
I'll second it.
Motion by Kelly, second by Hottenstein. For approval of the payments. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Treasurer's report, Shall Marachi.
Subject report is in there, nothing there, either. Questions on anything?
I'll make a motion to approve the treasurer's report.
Second. Motion by Court, second by Page to approve the treasurer's report. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Announcements.
Fire commission is tomorrow night, it's a week early, so, those two items for us right now. We have a whole 27. I don't think there's anything else that we have in plan commission.
I got nothing for plan commission at this time.
Yeah, the plan commission that I know of, so, that's about it. Committee as a whole will be at 5:30, so we'll be doing budget stuff again. And whatever else.
Okay, I'll move to closed session. Move to close